Hi and welcome to the BikeGremlin YouTube channel. My name is Relja Novic, and in this video I will show you how to mount panniers on your rear bicycle rack. I think this video might be helpful to people who have never mounted panniers, and I have been using panniers for decades and they are very practical. There is an article on my website that explains how you can mount different things on your bicycle, whether it's a backpack, which is super convenient for everyday use, or panniers. I will put a link to that article in the video's description. In this video I will concentrate on mounting Ortlieb panniers. I could say I'm a fan of Ortlieb panniers. I've been using them for decades and they are very durable. They are not cheap, but they last for a very long time. Here is an example. I have a pair of panniers like this. I think these are called Ortlieb Roller Classic or something like that. This is not a paid advert. This is just my experience with these products. So I have two of these, and the nice thing is that they can be easily mounted separately. So sometimes I want to carry only one, sometimes I carry both. The upsides of Ortlieb panniers are durability, and they are completely waterproof. So if I put some clothes that I don't want to be soaked in pouring rain when it's like from a shower, then I can just roll this a bit and close it up, and they work. They keep my clothes dry. So I'm not sure how much of this can be caught in the camera. I haven't got a cameraman right now with me, but that's one of the advantages of this particular model. It has a nice handle that also activates the release, and I will talk a bit more about that later in the video. And it comes with a nice way for you to carry it. So when I'm going for groceries on how do you call that, marketplace, for vegetables and fruit, this is nicely to just put over my shoulder and just keep adding things up and then put it on my bike and go. That is also the biggest downside of these panniers, because they can be easily taken off the bicycle. So for any theft risky areas, even if they are empty, if they just steal the pannier itself, it's a big expense, and that's the downside. So let me just try to mount this. So now it's securely mounted, and then I just release it. I will talk a bit more about Ortlieb before I talk about mounting panniers in general. This is another model that is very sturdy. I think this was originally designed as a laptop case, but I've carried all sorts of tools and materials in it, and that's what it's usually used for. And it's very big, as you can see. So very practical, and it does have the more modern standard by Ortlieb, so that it has these nice little thingies that you can just open this, and then you can adjust the position of each mount, which is handy because you usually want them to be out of the way of your heels and to fit nicely on the bicycle. And it also has this thing that you can also adjust. Unscrew this, loosen it, and then you can adjust it. And that's important to keep them in place. They are held by these two for the weight, but this third one gets, you put it somewhere lower so that it prevents it from rocking and bouncing. That leads us to the mounting system. There are several different types of bicycle rear racks, but you generally for panniers want those that have this part. I hope you can see it in the camera. So it's not just the part holding it, but also this extension that prevents the panniers from going into your spokes. It gives them something to lean against. Also, it offers you different ways to use that third thingy that I just showed, so that you can find the most convenient way to keep the panniers locked. That also prevents them from sliding back and forth, though you can adjust that by adjusting this position of these hangers, but it's an additional way to keep the panniers in place. For the rear rack, you generally want it to be more or less horizontal when you put the bicycle on the flat ground. Now it's at an angle, it's elevated so that you can catch everything in the camera, but you generally want it to be horizontal, maybe with a very slight angle towards the rear part being a bit higher than the front part, but in my opinion and experience that's not crucial. I generally aim for just horizontal. There are also racks made, designed to carry panniers with additional, how do I say, features. This one has this lower rail that is designed to put panniers so they sit a bit lower, and then you can more easily put something else on top, either backpack or an additional pannier that is designed to be. I have a pannier like that, I might show it at the end of the video, but I usually just put a backpack and strap it. So it's nicer to have more options so that the backpack sits a bit higher, and then you can open the panniers and remove them if you like, while this is also mounted. Those rear racks that don't have these additional rails put a bit lower are a bit less practical if you use panniers a lot. The downside of another advantage of these lower rails is that it lowers the center of gravity and makes it a bit more easy to maneuver bicycle. It's easier to handle even if you have more weight or mass, to be more technically accurate. Anyway, the downside is that they are lower. So for me, for example, on this gravel bicycle, when I put a pannier like this one, I will show it in the video now. That leads us to the continuation of this video. Okay, so it's mounted here, and I hope you can see it is near the axle of my wheel. It's sitting relatively low, and sometimes when I ride through tall grass it catches onto the pannier, and I wanted to have my cake and eat it, so to have panniers and also the ability to put something on top larger, but without the panniers being too low. And so I thought it's a jolly good idea to get a smaller pair of panniers for the gravel bicycle. I usually carry travel light, and smaller panniers would hopefully prevent me from carrying more than I need. And they also cause a bit less air drag and will sit a bit higher, and that should be good for technical trails where you either have those tree stumps or rocks or tall grass that you need to maneuver around, so a little bit more clearance. Another important thing to know, when you put panniers, they will provide noticeable air drag compared to putting a large bulky backpack, which I often carry, that is behind me, and it's shielded by air. It even arguably provides me with more or less good aerodynamics, because the air that I'm cutting doesn't abruptly create a vacuum to slow me down, but it gradually continues over the backpack in the rear. So I don't notice much air drag increase when I'm carrying a backpack behind me on top. But when I put panniers, it's noticeable, especially if I'm riding against some strong wind. It will make your, even if you have a 5 or 10 mile commute, noticeably longer when you're going against the wind as compared to having a backpack. Another thing is that when you carry only one pannier, it's practical, but when you're riding fast, over 25 kilometers per hour or even 20, I'm not sure how many miles that is, 17, 18 miles per hour, and when you go at those speeds or higher, or when the wind is strong, if you have only one pannier, it will cause your bicycle to noticeably steer into that direction, as if you're pedaling a boat and then put the pedal on one side to brake and make it turn, or when aeroplanes use those flaps, you get that effect. It's noticeable, and you cannot ride without hands without noticeably compensating for that, and in strong wind it's not practical at all. So it's often better to have both or none. So I'm not just talking about weight, I'm talking about air drag, because even if you put an empty pannier, the effect is noticeable. And the larger, the bulkier they are, the more noticeable it is. So even for daily commuting, I can see the difference. Weight of the bicycle plays much less of an issue as compared to the extra drag, especially if you're riding spirited, faster, and if the wind is strong. So now I will try to demonstrate this procedure with these panniers. I haven't tried these, maybe they suck, but this should be like the classic, the red ones I showed, only smaller. I got these and I will try to mount them. And this is what it says on the back. I'll try to open it. Haven't installed new panniers for for a very long time, so I'll see if I still remember how it's done. Okay, so I need to open the box first. Okay, I managed to do that. I don't do generally those unboxing videos because I like to think that people, sorry about the background noise, I'm working in my garage, so it's lively. I like to think that people who watch my videos know how to open boxes, so yeah, don't eat, and other disclaimers and warnings. Anyway, so these are the panniers. I will mount the one on your side first, and then I will mount the other. As far as I know, they are usually symmetrical, so you don't know which is which. You can only tell by judging how you've configured the mounting. And this one also has the simple system, so not much brain work needed. So that's convenient. I like that one. I like that system, but sorry, with these older ones, these need a hex or a Torx key to unscrew this little bolt and then move it in place and then retighten it. I think it's a hex, it's an Allen as they call it. Yes. Anyway, so this should be pretty simple. There's a pocket inside that can come in handy, but generally with Ortlieb, because they are waterproof, watertight, you want to put some plastic bags if you're carrying anything that can spill or is wet, because it's not that simple for them to dry unless you stop and keep them open to dry. That's something to pay attention to, so you don't get any mold or something. And anyway, so here what I will aim to do is that I want them, this is the front limit. I want on this side, the forward facing attachment to be moved as much to the side as possible in order to keep my panniers back, so I don't keep them with my heels. Modern bicycles are made with short chainstays. I made articles and videos about it. It's utter nonsense. You need to find an exotic travel bike to get a normal 45 or longer centimeter chainstays. That's a separate problem, but we work with what we have. So you want generally to put the forward facing one as much to the side as possible in order to keep your panniers at the rear. If I wanted to put this on the opposite side, then this one would be forward facing, so I would move it as much as I can to the front. So that's what I will start with. I'll move this as much as it can move to the front and lock it up in place. Now for this and for this I will try to get it as wide as possible, but I have some brackets and limits, so we'll see about that. And this one I will see where it's convenient to put it to be caught against. So I will loosen this one, get it out of the way for now, and I will try to put this other one as much to the side as possible and see how I fare when I lean it against this. So let's see, there's plenty of room. It can go back and forth, but there's plenty of room. It doesn't get anywhere in the way, so I can mount it like this. So I'm pulling this. When it's loaded, it's easier. Some older model of mine, the red one, has stronger spring, so if it's not loaded it will not unlock. I need to pull it a bit to unlock it, but here I will put this in place It's nicely locked in place. Okay, now I want to make sure that it stays as I've mounted it. And here, as you can see, I have some mounts here for the rear mudguards, and so I don't want to push it all the way back to be hitting those. It will probably not be practical, and I would rather try, let's see, okay, in this case I could try to make it, this one be aligned with the right side, and make this one prevent it from going further back. So I might just, let's see how it looks when I put it here. Let's see what I can work with. Okay, that side will not cut it. Let's try the opposite side. No, that doesn't look very practical. Okay, then in that case I may move it a bit more to the rear and see about making this prevent it from sliding further forward. Okay. Let's tighten it. All right, let's see what we have here. I've made a compromise, so this will after all be hitting these zip ties, and if I have problems with them breaking or anything, I will put some old tube, inner tube here to have some protection and damping. And this in fact hits against this one, so when I'm mounting it I need to put it over that part and then to lock these other two in place, and it now looks more or less okay. When I put the bicycle on level ground and load this, I will see how it behaves and how it does in practice, so I might change that. Now I will try to do the other one just for demonstrational purposes and to hopefully let you see how it looks from the opposite side. And then I might try to bring the camera closer. Okay, so let's see about this one. Again, I'm going for all the way to the rear position and to lock this. Okay, if I put some load on this, and let's see, I put some load here and I slide this a bit forward. Okay, tightening this, finger tight does it. Okay, it looks good now. Let's see if I need to remove it. When I'm placing it, I first insert this little thingy and then put it back. Okay, I will now bring the camera over so that hopefully you can see what I did. And here is the mounting bracket, and so when I need to mount it, I've released it now, and then when I need to remount it, I first try to get this lower section to catch against this part, so something like that, and then only then after that I put the other two by holding it upwards to. This is what I need to get out of the way. It's difficult to do with one arm, but that's the basic principle. I think the other one, oh, the other one also clicked. Okay, that looks good. That looks okay. that went surprisingly smoothly. Okay, now where did I place the other one? Oh, I forgot to lock the... Okay, you see, I see what I did here. I forgot to lock this one properly in place. It falls into place without any force used. If I try to put it in between, it won't fall into place. But when I align it with the hole, it falls into place. Then I need to press it to lock it. Let's double check the other one. Okay, it's locked now. This is probably the latest and greatest Ortlieb's patent, and okay, it feels positive enough, the engagement, so now I know about the catch, and so no problems there. Okay, let's try to mount it. What mistake did I make? Now, why won't it fall back into place? Okay, I let the limit move when I originally installed it, so yes, I need to redo the procedure again. Okay, now it's looking good, solid and positive. I'm trying to leave some wiggle room. I'm not making them press tightly against the brackets of the holder and the limits, because once you load them, they will stay in place, they don't rattle. At least that's been my experience so far. But I want to be able to easily and quickly mount and dismount them when I want to get them on and off. Okay, now let's see about the capacity. Sweatshirt, the old sweatpants, and very bulky and thick winter jacket that may be even a size too big for me. This is XL. So let's see about the new small panniers. I don't know how many liters these have. There's probably information on the manufacturer's website. I'll put it in the video's description. I'm not sure even about these old ones, how many liters they have, but these are huge. So let's try to put all this into the old pannier. It's better to roll your clothes. I'm saving time on the video, but you want to roll them as tightly as possible before you place them. If you carry clothes to work, it's generally, at least for me, the best results I get is when especially if you have those trousers or shirts that you iron and have buttons and whatnot, just roll them, sometimes even together. That's for you to judge what works best, a bit of trial and error, but it saves on storage space and it doesn't get as many wrinkles. So at least, again, that's what's worked for me so far, and I did not do the best job here in this video, but anyway, I did not pack these too tightly, but as you can see, all three are here and there's room to spare. I will generally not fill it to the top because I want to be able to close it and make it watertight, but these have a lot of room. And let's see about the new ones. I think they would be full to the brim if I put the winter jacket on in it, but let's give it a go. So first, let's see if I can make it be a bit more not the best job. I should have folded it perhaps, but also the material is very slippery, so it unfolds. It's not cooperating. So let's see if it will fit. All right, it's looking good. Now let's see about the other two items of clothing. In this case, if all this fits, this will be the most I can reasonably expect if I want to remotely practically use this further on. But here it is. I can close it up. Let's show it. Here is where you lock it, or where you unlock it, and you generally want this top section. I usually go like this and then fold it, and that usually does it. And as far as this thingy goes, you can generally, for those who don't know, it's a simple mechanism, and if you want to tighten it, you just get it at an angle and pull on this, and once it's like this, it will no longer get loose. So if you want to loosen it, you put it like this, and then it's easy. It also has this little thingy, so you can, if you are really thorough, you can make it not rattle around. So that's one part. Let's get this all out to work more easily. Okay, so they also, the Bosch panniers, I'm just realigning some Bosch tools. It's all German. They're all the same. The Ortlieb panniers also have a nice way to attach a bag that's made by Ortlieb on top. I will try to demonstrate that, but first I want to show you something else. So if I look into the bag, these didn't come with a strap that I have on my old ones. It's not in the bag. Let's see if I've dropped it somewhere, someplace, somehow, or if it's inside. Yes, it's inside. So you get a strap, preferably, yes, two straps that you can mount over, and you also get these little thingies so that you can adjust to the thickness of your frame or rack, and I will show how that is done. But before that, I want to show another thing. On some models you get these that are not used for straps but to lock it in place. So this one is locked like this. It does not have that strap that goes over, but you need to use this to lock it in place. So in this case, it's not designed to be carried over your shoulder. And if you really pay attention, these are not symmetrical. So this side goes on the inside. So you put this little thingy on the outside when you roll it, and then you lock it in place. All right, now let's see about what should we do first, straps or the additions. Let's do the additions first, the adapters. The straps will make things more complicated. All right, so we have different thicknesses here. As you can see, this one is for those narrow steel racks, and this one is for the wider aluminum ones. So I can see which one of these fit nicely. This one won't even fit. So that's out of the question. And I think I have, how many of these? 1, 2. Okay. I have 4 that are really narrow for both panniers. I have 4 moderately sized, and 4 that are really big. That's right. So I will take one of each to show you the differences. So these are the really thick ones, these are the moderately, these are the smallest ones, and these are the in between. If I didn't mix them up, I think I did. Sorry. Okay, now we have them. So here it is, the most detailed video about Ortlieb panniers in the known universe. Okay. I hope Germans are feeling proud now. I hope I did them justice with this video. Anyway, so I want to install these adapters that are the best for my rack, because this is ultra wide and it makes no sense. So let's see if I can figure it out without looking at the instructions, like a real man. Okay, I think I got it. It has these little notches here, and this is like a, on the other side, like a whole slide, like so. That slide goes probably here. I hope you can see it. And these little thingies go on the inside. So let's give it a test and see and laugh about how stupid I am. How do I mount this? Do I slide it sideways, or do I just press it in? For older models it was just pressed in. I will just look at the box to see if there is a manual, just to prevent myself from making a mess. And if I'm doing an instructional video, I should at least have some idea of what I'm doing, though that's not obligatory today in my experience. So here it is. I want to save this for future reference if I lose it. The instruction manual. Here it is, admire. You can pause and get some information. Okay, so yes, they say you need to click it. That's what I figured out. That's how smart I am. And you can probably replace these parts. I think they sell most stuff as replacement. And now what are they telling me? Option 1, option 2. Okay, different models probably. The angle, and now let's see about this. Okay, so they want me to slide it in until it clicks, and I had figured it out properly. Okay, let's give that a try. Let's try to slide it in place as advertised. So what I've also noticed is when I pull this little thingy gets in the way, but when it's like this I can have more room to work. So let's see if this will, if I manage to catch this on camera, as never seen before. Okay. Yes, it locks nicely into place, and as you can see, probably these notches are at an angle, so they allow you to slide it in and out while still staying in place. So yes, that's the way to do it. Just slide it in. Okay, so you definitely need to pull this to create room to insert this, and then it slides more or less nicely into place, and then when you release this, it keeps it engaged and keeps it in place. If you need to remove it, I suppose you just press it out. Yes, you just press it out. Okay, I got this. Now let's see. I should have done this first, so that is my mistake. Now let's see if I got it right. Yes, it works nicely, it looks okay. So now let's mount the other two, and then we'll play with the straps. Okay, that's the other one. Cool. Now let's see about the straps. This is what the straps look like, and so you can unlock them, and it's again the same as I showed with that other part. You have this extra thingy, so you can go like this, and you can, it's locked in place, and when you wish to adjust, you keep it in at a 90-degree angle, and then you can loosen it and tighten it further. So those are the straps, and let's see, is this symmetrical? Yes, more or less so. Looks okay. So that's one thing, one side, and let's see about the other side. So I did it. Close it up. Okay, that's one side, and let's see about the other side. Okay, so that's the strap. You can put it on your shoulder, and it looks okay. So when I'm closing it up, I'm going to spin it a bit, and then I can use this and lock it up. But there is this catch down, so that's designed to keep this in place. So when you close it up, you can then tighten it or loosen it. But if you want to keep this from flopping, you can just slide it in there and prevent it from dangling. In practice, this is what I never use on any panniers. I just make sure that the strap is held underneath this, and I haven't had any problems with the strap catching onto anything or causing me any problems, but it works okay in practice, for me at least. You can use your panniers however you like. So I hope you found this video informative. Camera work is nowhere near the perfection when my friend Gox has the time to help, but I hope I've managed to show and explain everything. And if you have any comments or questions, please use the BikeGremlin forum, bikegremlin.net. It's better than YouTube, with especially with questions and follow-up questions and answers. They are difficult to keep track of on YouTube, and when you need to Google them later, it's very impractical. And if you like what I'm doing, you can support my work via Patreon. Go to patreon.com/BikeGremlin. That means a lot to me, and it helps. And I want to thank all the people who are supporting me via Patreon. It's a great way of say concrete recognition and good energy, and of course that money always helps with various stuff. So that's I think that's the whole video. I don't think I forgot to mention anything or show anything. And yes, these parts are all, you can replace them all by unscrewing them and get different when they break, if they break or something. If the quality is anywhere near to what it was over a decade ago, I expect this to last a long time. But if it is not, well, if nothing else, I hope I'll be able to order spare parts and and keep using it. So that's it. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in some other video. Cheers, stay cool.